environment where you have a lab set up, then it's easier for them to do over there instead of at a house.
So what are the essentials about this event, Andrew?
Well, the essentials of this event would be that you can learn all kinds of stuff about homeschooling and just be in an environment where you can learn more about it.
It's Friday from 9 to 6 and Saturday from 9 to 4 at Camp Jordan Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Homeschool Expo. It's also called, I think the older terminology was Curriculum Fair, but we call it both actually as people who help organize that event. This is David Tulis, and we're here at Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and FM 92.7. I'll be there, I think, most of those 2 days. So if you'd like to meet me, your host here, feel free to come by the expo. The entrance is not very expensive. It's $8 per day for 2 days. If you come one day, you can come. If you come the first day, you can come the second day under the same pass. There's free parking, of course. It's great. If you're not in Chattanooga or from Chattanooga, it's a great little road trip into town. And we've made a pitch for this event. My wife, Jeanette, has made pitches for this event in far places such as Birmingham and Huntsville and Knoxville. And there, to those parents, those moms, we've presented this as a great outing in the scenic city, right? There are many things that. Now you live in Andrew James Kevon. You live in Appleton. Have been in Chattanooga for a long time.
Yes.
Your father is named Jack. He's a systems engineer at Blue Cross Blue Shield,
yes,
and your mom, you mentioned, Cynthia does the homeschool labors at home and also oversees the yearbook. And
yes,
you have two sisters. One now, say something about them.
Well, my older sister is a senior in college, where she's going to become a children's librarian. Which, when she was being homeschooled, she did the homeschool yearbook and had a lot of time to learn about writing, and she learned a lot of that and got curriculum and materials from the Homeschool Expo from that. And then my little sister is in a program called American Heritage Girls, which she learned about from the curriculum fair.
Right. American Heritage Girls is a group that won't make the compromises that the Girl Scouts have made in favor of lesbianism and feminism. It's called American Heritage Girls. There will be, if you, my listener, are interested in home education, there are these ancillary organizations that are supported by the main homeschool organization in Chattanooga, such as that. And also Trail Life, my last child at home, a son who's 14, is a member at Trail Life, which has a devout perspective, rejecting the corruptions and compromises, brought into the public realm by the Boy Scouts. Now, I ask you about where you live because have you done much tourist kind of things here in Chattanooga, Andrew, that we would hope families who visit Chattanooga to come to this expo might take part in and view also? Have you been to, let's say, Rock City?
Well, I have not been to Rock City, but I've gone to the Walking Bridge downtown, the Hunter Art Museum. The first month that we lived in Chattanooga back in 2010, we actually lived in a small house right down the road from the Walking Bridge. So we went out our front door, looked to our right, and there was the Walking Bridge, meaning that all of the tourist attractions, all of the activities that you can do in downtown Chattanooga were literally right at our doorstep.
So folks who are not from the area can view their invitation here from the Homeschool Expo to come and enjoy Chattanooga, which is a kind of an outdoor paradise. It's called Scenic City for a reason. And you can find out more about this Homeschool Expo at csthea.org, csthea.org. Now, among those, there will be colleges. Bryan College will be there. I believe Lee will be there. Chat State will be there. Berry College, and there are the sort of quasi schools. For example, there's an artist named Karen Barton who's been teaching homeschool students for years. I had my daughter, who's a 25-year-old young woman and a sculptor and an artist, went to Karen for a couple of years at Agape Art Academy. That will be there as well. Also, groups that help with problems with math, learning math. Now, the expo has exhibitors, but it has many speaking events as well. So the experts who run these groups, provide these services, sell these products, will be giving presentations about what they know, kind of summarizing the best of what they have for you. And so whether or not you're a homeschooler is almost beside the point. You can come and learn about children, about learning, and even about problems that children have in learning. If you know someone who's homeschooling and wants to be connected and to have a cover, it's called a church-related school, to oversee their local school, their local homeschool. There are groups that involve themselves in that as well. And for example, my family's under Aaron Academy, which provides administrative services and a protection as against the state's claims upon our family. The state can't touch my family directly. It has to go through Aaron Academy. If it has any questions or anything, we're protected by this church-related school. So those types of organizations will be there as well at the expo. You can find out more about it again at csthea.org. That's csthea.org. So Andrew, you're involved in the yearbook. What kind of work have you done for the yearbook, and how has this furthered your interest as a student and a 17-year-old?
Well, the yearbook has many qualities about it that I didn't quite have a concept of before. So it's taught me about caption writing. Our photos that get sent in will have captions describing what they're doing, who they are. And so when we're creating the yearbook, we want to have these captions in there so that when we look at it from, in the future, we can say, here's who this person was, what they were doing. So I've learned about caption writing. I've learned about just writing in general, having coherentness in my wording. I've learned about formatting, design. I've designed the yearbook website, which taught me about web design, so that's HTML and CSS. I've learned about that from yearbook. I've learned about photos, angles that you should take photos in. I've learned about community outreach when we sell our yearbooks at the Homeschool Expo, doing customer service there, getting people yearbooks, hearing what they want to say, and trying to provide a better product for the next year.
Well, say something about photography. How is a good picture composed? What are the elements that the photographer should look at? Because we see everyone with a phone, everyone has a camera, millions and billions of pictures are taken, many frames, but most, I would say, are probably not consciously attempting to make a well-composed image. What are the things you've learned about that?
Well, the biggest things would be lighting and angle. Lighting, you want to see what your image is. So in a standard image that we're looking at, we probably want to have it be well lit from an outdoor environment, so the sun, and we want to have the angle be straightforward. So no selfies. Selfies have such an angle to them that you can't quite grasp what the perspective of it is.
You mean they're too close and the face is distorted?
Right. You get faces that become too long, and it's harder to grasp what they're doing. You pretty much only get their face. So when they get sent into yearbook, you can't quite see what they're doing. You don't know where they are or what they're doing. You just see their face. But other parts,
and that's not really enough.
And that's not really enough, because when people who don't know you are looking at the yearbook and they're maybe seeing what people do in this area, a photo of somebody's face isn't really, useful for that area. But angles of a photo is important too. So you want to have a straightforward shot. If it's a family shot, maybe in front of, say, Rock City or maybe the walking bridge, then you want to have it be well lit and a quality shot, so no blurring. So it's interesting to see the quality of the photos that get sent in.
What about having a center of interest? Is that an important element of a good picture?
The center
what
of
does
interest,
that mean?
The center of interest most of the time in a shot is going to be the person in the shot. Now, if it's a photo maybe of somebody and their pet, then you want to have it kind of be co-focused on both the human and the animal. But you don't want it to be focused on the pretty tree in the background in a family shot. You want it to be on the person.
So cropping tight is a way of doing it, which means you have to have the animal. If it's being held by the girl, let's say the senior girl in her dress,
right?
You want to get the animal. If it's on the ground, it's really too far away to be a good picture, probably. you might want to have her holding it, or it's clutching it in her lap, something like that, so they can come in close on it and her.
Right. Or in a shot like that where maybe the animal is at their feet, you don't need the trees in the background or whatever background you have. You'll just want to have it be the person. So it would be more of a long shot instead of a wide shot.
I think one problem in photographs that I have is, as I look through them as an editor, is that the bad ones have a lot of dead space in them.
Yes.
Like the girl standing with the dog at her feet. You want a dog and pet picture, but that one's not good because you see all of her clothes. So it's really a picture about her clothes and then the pet at the foot, and she's looking down at it, and there's a tree in the background. So it doesn't compose. It doesn't say girl with her dog, but the one where that you waited for, you finally said, "Look, you're taking the picture. Let Jane here. Why don't you sit here on the bench and let's have little Sally leap up on your with her little dirty paws, leap up on your dress, and then you can just kind of goo and pet and make sounds and have that animal reacting. So she's reacting." And then you have to have several frames where there's an interaction, right? Some kind of action taking place. It's not a static girl holding dog, but she's actually playing with it, and he's barking at her, and she's kind of recoiling just a little bit. And so you have expression, you have a genuine, authentic person.
Oh, right.
Maybe that can come out in that scene.
Oh, absolutely. And that depends also on the page that we're putting this on. We have divided up pages. So for the pet page, we're just going to have just photos of people with whatever animal it is, and then them. And then if the animal happens in other shots, that is just not, it's a non-problem. It hasn't been something that's come up really.
Well, have yearbooks held their own in the digital age, Andrew James Catalano, or are they somehow, even in the homeschool sector, threatened by digital screen images? And yours is printed.
Right. I would say, even though you could say it's threatened from the fact that people can post it to Instagram or Facebook, they can post their photos. But something that's special about a printed yearbook is that it's going to be there forever. I can look at my parents' yearbooks from when they were in school, and I don't have to worry about it being on their Facebook page or on their phone or their computer. It's on a printed page where I will always have it. It's on paper, it's printed, and it's something that can be preserved and kept for generations, whereas a photo on somebody's account can just go away.
It's gone the next day. It's already too far down the stack to be found again. So there's a very ephemeral, temporary use of a digital image, and it does not have staying power. Whereas one printed in dots and a minuscule dot sequence on a page that jumps out at you with nice ink and nice presentation and good layout, that's going to be there until you die. And
we keep almost a journalism element to it, where we describe what's happening in the photo. So unlike a random photo that you'll see on your Facebook feed, you have the content here. Here's the person, what's their name, and what they're doing, and then you always have that. So it's something special about a yearbook.
Are you glad that you were homeschooled, Andrew James Catalano?
Absolutely. Hearing about stories from the public school, hearing about things that happen when you're public schooled, and just the sort of what you learn when you're public schooled is so much different than when you're homeschooled. So
in a nutshell, what's happening at the expo and when is it?
Well, at the expo, you're going to be learning about homeschooling, learning about the programs at there. It's going to be Friday 9 to 6 and Saturday 9 to 4. You can join.
What dates?
Oh, it's going to be July 21st and then July 22nd.
And that will be at Camp Jordan. This is David Tulis. We're talking with Andrew James Catalano, who's homeschooled, 17 years old. And he sits in the same booth as I do at the CS Thea booth. That is CSTHEA. And that is the sponsor of this very fun event. There are going to be 1,000 families over a couple of days. And if you have questions about educational problems, you have reading problems, math problems, even behavioral questions, you have uncertainties about whether to afford university life or college. There are all kinds of people there who have an alternative idea. And they're home educating families and sponsors and exhibitors at the expo. Again, as Andrew James Catalano, age 17, is telling us, it's the 21st and 22nd of July at Camp Jordan. Find out more at csthea.org. That's csthea.org. Nooganomics.com is our chief sponsor here. And this is David Tulis, the editor. We are a website not popular, and that's because very few people matter. The people who matter, though, go to Nooganomics.com and find out about the deep state here in Tennessee. There are major things happening. The biggest case in 80 years is going to be argued a week from today in Nashville, challenging commercial government. Andrew James Catalano, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Andrew James Catalano is a homeschool son, one of 3 children of Jack and Cynthia James Catalano in Appson. And this is David Tulis. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And if you don't have the TuneIn Radio app on your phone, make sure you get that and just make Nooga Radio your top pick. And we've got Sean Hannity at 3, Colin Cowherd, the great sports, like the Sean Hannity of sports. He's at noon. And changes coming ahead here at Nooga Radio. David Tulis.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM.
Does your business have enough clients? Are you confused about how to stand out in today's saturated social